My grandpa, growing up around like cattle and horses, that bled into my dad. Whatever dad loves, inherently, the kids will fall in love with. Because when dad's doing that, that's the best version of dad there is. You know, if dad loves to fish, the kids will want to go fishing with dad because you get in the car and he's excited and he's happy. My dad wanted to grow something from the ground, raise cattle. Found a piece of property here on a fluke, like super fluke, where he was driving with someone, drove up this huge driveway, which was just insane. Had all these Fuji apple trees on both sides, got to the top of the driveway. The guy goes, well, why don't you buy my place? And my dad goes, well, give me a break, you know. There's 700 acres here. I can't afford any of that, right? And he's like, no, I just decided this morning to cut it up. So the house and the apple trees, and then, you know, this is one piece. And that's what I'm selling. And he goes, well, how much? Like this was, you know, 100 acres with a house and a whole deal. And he's like, yeah, okay, let's take it. Worked a year on the apples, picked them all, tried to sell them, went to deliver them, and they were rejected like that morning. So mentally, just think about putting a whole year into something brand new, this huge investment, your dream, and turning around and driving home with a flatbed, you know, full of everything you worked for a year on, and then having to push it out onto the ground and let cows eat it. From that point, it's like, what are we going to do? And my mom very calmly, in like that really nice mom way, you know, like when you like a girl, your mom's like, just ask her out, just come on. And, you know, then inside your head, you're like, no, I can never do that. Mom's like, well, why don't you tear it out and put in grapes? It seems like, you know, people want that. And I was like, oh, you know, just took the biggest like bolt to the face. And within 3 months, we had every apple tree torn out, and we were in the process of hand planting our vineyard. So when you have a piece of property, you think like, oh, soil, sunshine, okay, great, this is what you get. Kind of. What you really get is you have bought, or you are managing the way everything happens in that specific spot. So if I have to make the biggest decision first, which is what am I going to plant here? And it's kind of like making the decision on your first date with a girl, you know, where's our retirement home going to be together? Like on your first date, these are the decisions you have to make like that far in advance, because if you put the wrong thing in the wrong spot, you're never going to be successful. The right thing has to be there. So that's number one. But then what you're really buying is the way the sun comes up, the way the fog sits, the way the wind blows. Everything that's happening is influencing that grape. Then when we bring it off, crush it, you know, make a wine from it, the fruit that comes off that on that year is a representation of what happened that year. But it also is, how did we farm it? How did we respond to the wind and the waves and the weather? For me, that's the beauty, is the chaos. It's that I don't know what's going to happen. I don't even know if me being a part of it is changing it. I just want to be there when it happens and then steward it through as lightly as I can. And if it gets into the bottle, it's amazing to me every year. That's what we get to do here, you know. We get to put things in a bottle and put Grandpa's face on it and work with my dad. And my dad and my kids get to hang out all the time. My kids know their grandpa the way I knew mine. And so we go out there, my daughter goes out there, we're tasting constantly. We get real nervous all the way across the board. We involve my daughter and my son and my kid, you know, just like go out there tasting, like, what do you think? You know, we're testing, my cousin Greg's involved. We make a lot of decisions out in the vineyard. Me and my dad argue about it a lot. Like, I think we should do this. And he goes, no, we're not gonna do that. Because he's out there mowing it and touching it 365 days a year. And that's where his passion is, you know, more than anything. He just sits out there and bleeds and makes it happen. And then it's going to go from father to son. So me and Dad worked on this together, but then I'm taking the keys, right? And there's a huge moment of pride in there. And there's a lot of arguing, and there's fighting, and there's all that like tension of this, but nobody's fighting over anything that is not about making it better. And then we taste it and we name it. We think of like, well, how does this tell the story of our family? How does this tell the story of what we did out there? How does this involve everybody? And to mean this means something. We happen to make wine, I think is a good way to put it. Hopefully, you know, we put as much passion into that as everything else, so hopefully that's what everybody tastes. You wake up, you put your boots on, you drink coffee and go try to change the world. And if you can, you know, hopefully make some good friends along the way and share good times with them. If you can, you know, that's what wine should be. Wine should be that little, open the bottle and you get a little campfire of wine in front of you, you know, and everybody gets some in their glass and everybody's tasting the same thing at the same time, experiencing the same moment at the same time, you know, becoming closer at the same time, bearing their souls in front of each other. And that's what wine should be about. You know, that is the whole point of the communion of wine. I wish everybody got to feel like this. And I wish everybody got to hold things in their hands that they made. I figure that if my family gets to live here for the next 250 years in this place, we've done something right. And one of the parts about wine that I love now is that the longer you're doing it, the more intimately you get to know your property, the more intimately you get to know the way the environment affects it. You get to write it down, you get to pass on that knowledge. You get to make wines that are yearbook photos of those years and enjoy them later. Eventually, we might be good at this, but we sold out of every wine we've ever made, all through that front door. And today, people will come in. I don't know where they came from. I don't know their backstory. I don't know their history, but they're gonna come in today to see us, and I'll be here waiting for them for the rest of my life. Hopefully sharing what we did as a family.